It's velocity. Motherfucker. Where the fuck is velocity?
Howdy y'all, it's your favorite trainer with a belt buckle. Today we're going to help you pass the CSCS with a Chapter 2 review. We got our study guide. We're going to help you pass this 2-3 months max. Get into hands-on training. If you're not familiar with Show Up Fitness, it's where great trainers are made. Check out my book, How to Become a Successful Personal Trainer. We teach trainers in person, online, doesn't matter where you are. Check us out on YouTube, showupfitness.com as well. We will get you through the CSCS ASAP. So let's go to page 19. Don't spend too much time on Chapter 2. Get through it once, that's it. You may have 2 or 3 questions, tops. Your athlete doesn't care about the sliding filament theory. He doesn't care about actin and myosin. He wants to, or she wants to improve their vertical jump or agility or their bench. Make it applicable to the individual. Don't overwhelm your athletes. Keep it simple, but don't simplify. That's an important quote by, I think that was Einstein. Let's get into Chapter 2, starting with levers. Just flashcard. What is a lever 1? And that's going to be your, like a head nod, also a tricep extension. Lever 2 is going to be seen on page 22 with a calf raise. And then 3 is going to be a bicep curl, also like a hamstring curl. Don't worry too much about the levers and the fulcrums, maybe 1 or 2 total questions. Variations in tendon insertion. You may see something like a person whose tendon is inserted on the bone further from the joint should be able to lift more, less, and so forth. And that answer is going to be able to lift more weight. The planes of motion, you're going to get a question on that. You should know the definition. So flashcards, sagittal. It's an imaginary line bisecting the body into right and left halves, only allowing for flexion and extension. Flexion of the humerus, extension of the humerus. Flexion of the femur, which is lifting your leg up, your knee up, or bringing your femur behind the body, which is extension. Sagittal plane creatures, sprinting, jumping, running, lunging, squats, all sagittal plane. Now, an imaginary line bisecting the body into anterior and posterior halves, allowing for abduction and adduction, will be frontal, also referred to as the coronal plane of motion. And then we have an imaginary line bisecting the body into superior and inferior halves. Any type of rotation, whether it's external rotation, internal rotation, horizontal adduction, horizontal abduction, those will all be the transverse plane of motion. We are most likely to hurt ourselves in the transverse plane of motion. They're going to give you examples of those actions on page 27. Don't worry too much about 28 and 29, 30. On page 33, they're going to get into a muscle action. So we should know the spectrum. So we have concentric, where look at that puppy, bicep brachia. We have decreased the angle at a joint. I've concentrically accelerated my elbow joint via the bicep brachia. So the muscles have shortened. Now coming back, eccentric, the muscle is now lengthening. Think of the eccentric as like a negative. On a bench press, I can control more weight on the way down. I develop the most amount of speed concentrically. And then anytime you hold, that's isometric. And then we have isokinetic, which we'll take a look at here in a second. On page 33, a couple things I'll ask. That means that the greatest muscle force can be obtained during eccentric muscle actions. True. So we have the physiology aspect on 32, the I band, the A band, the H zone. This is something that we have Professor Chili will come in and really break down the physiology. He will do that one time in our 2-month online class. And these classes are for strength coaches that are trying to learn more about the physiology, but more importantly, the programming aspect. Great, you get your CSCS. What the hell do you do next? You need to know how to implement the programming, how to get linked up in the right internships, and how to gain that hands-on experience. And that's what we're going to help you with. So check out our online platform, patreon.com/showupfitness. Don't worry about that. I would flashcard, those pages I meant, I would flashcard surface drag and foreign drag.
maybe one question. Intra-abdominal pressure can be seen on 39. That's just the fluid ball that we create by your pooping muscles. You brace your core. That's what intra-abdominal pressure is. Your blood pressure will actually decrease when you hold your breath, so be careful of those, more so in general pop when you are working with clients and you hold their breath. So let's go over some of the questions, the study questions on page 41. The reason I'll go over these is because they give you the answers, but you may not know why that's the correct answer. In study question number 1 for the CSCS textbook, which of the following is the definition of power? And that's force times velocity. Another definition, 28, would just be work over time. So for 2, on page 33, you will see that the body weight to the 2/3 power is how you're able to compare different athletes of different sizes. Sagittal plane of motion is pretty simple for 4. And the last one, when we look at number 5, an isokinetic movement. So that's just constant tension going back and forth. So that, remember, a bicep curl or flexion at that joint is going to be your lever 3 class, whereas a tricep extension would be more a lever 1. And so 1 and 3 would be the correct answer for that one. So let's take a look at some of these questions that we have in our study guide. Our study guide has over 300 questions. It's designed to get you through the CSCS prep as fast as you can. I just had a call the other day with Dr. Schoenfeld, and we were reviewing some of the flaws within the strength and conditioning as well as personal training world, and it's the hands-on application. Even if you have your CSCS, you still have never trained anyone. I worked with an intern who came in the other day, and they had their CSCS, and they didn't know how to coach up a deadlift. That's like a doctor who has his degree and he's super excited to start doing surgery, but he's never done surgery. So our industry is extremely flawed, and what we're trying to do is to get you guys through this ASAP. Worst case scenario, you fail it. Who gives a shit? Take it again and get through it so then you can get into the right hands to better understand the programming and working with athletes. That piece of paper is not going to make you a great strength coach. It just gets you into the field. So our intent here at Show Up Fitness is to get you through it as fast as possible so then you can start learning the real parts of becoming a successful strength coach. So on our study guide, we have a couple. So during a plank, which type of muscular contraction is taking place? You only get 3 questions on the CSCS. You should get that one pretty quick. So again, concentric is the shortening, eccentric is the lengthening. Anytime you hold or want to get through a sticking point or weak point, that's going to be isometric. Let's go for, if the effort lies between the fulcrum and the load, then the lever belongs to which class? Whew, biomechanics, but not my specialty, but just flashcard these ones. Get through it. You'll have maybe 2, 3 max total questions. If the effort lies between the fulcrum and the load, then the lever belongs to which class? That is a class 3 lever. All right, so if you want to pass the CSCS, check out our online classes. They're through Zoom twice a week, Mondays and Wednesdays, Pacific Standard Time. And we have these part of our online internship. Check it out on patreon.com. The link is right over here. Our goal is to help you pass the CSCS 3 months max. Get into hands-on learning with the proper supervision. Show Up Fitness, it's where great trainers and strength coaches are made. Check us out online. Make sure to subscribe if you like this video. Leave us any comments. If you'd like to sit on one of the classes for free, find us on Instagram, DM us. Have a great day, y'all. It's your favorite trainer with a belt buckle. You can subscribe, follow us on Instagram. We got Show Up Fitness, Show Up Fitness Internship. If you want to become a great trainer, showupfitness.com. And most importantly, your favorite trainer with a belt buckle, check out my book, How to Become a Successful Personal Trainer. We will help you no matter where you are. All you got to do is show up. Woo!